I was sitting here thinking about energy and how they when you being tested, it's like the only thing I don't like about life, but it's the way it's supposed to be, is that, especially for a person like myself, I don't know if everybody like this, but you kind of get tested a lot by God. And when you do, the energy shift when it shuts off. And I know some people do go through this. So I guess you'd be like, how do you know which way to go when all the energy is wrong? It's telling you to do wrong. The energy literally would tell you to do wrong. The energy would shift so dramatically, it will make you think wrong is right. So how do you move then when energy do that? And for a lot of people, y'all wouldn't get this. If you got a lot of sin on your plate, if you got a lot of stuff that you still indulging in, if you of the world and not just in the world, don't even worry about this conversation. Turn it off. But for those of you that's trying to figure out, like, what decision should you make? And it get like that a lot. I know it do. I can look at people and tell, like, I be in such a situation. I mean, I be observing things that literally I have to see people make wrong decisions and not say nothing about it a lot. And just look at them make that wrong decision. And what it is that, and just be good people, they need guidance, but it's like that test moment. You just kind of feel and notice. You can't say nothing. They gotta notice it on their own. So for me, being alone, dealing with this for so long in my life, it's just like what I said last night. I can't remember now what it said. It said blind structural consciousness. It's like ain't nobody there to help you. Ain't nobody you can call. Ain't nobody in the physical to help you. So what do? You gotta observe the energy. And sometimes that might take you falling a couple times. Hopefully, if you can fall. Sometimes you can't fall at all. Sometimes you got that one decision to make. But for the most part, you can, you get a couple tries. Well, of course, more than a couple, but how do you notice the energy? Well, it's like, okay, well, let's say you dealing with these people, man. They just keep on doing something. They want you to do something for them. Okay? And this energy, it could be gangs or whatever, They need you to do something for them. Oh, they celebrate you on. They try to lead you on. They try to treat you good when they need you to do it. But once they start getting you to do it, how do they treat you? And they typically shift. Like, when the energy shift like that dramatically, and it's to the point where it's warped, then magic probably involved. So they can't have it all. So it's gotta be a leak. You gotta observe the energy for a while. You can't be quick to make no decision. You gotta sit back and just observe the energy. And when it get to the point where you're helping these people, because ain't nothing gonna help, you pray, you might not get nothing. Nature won't even talk to you. It's like it's tested time. It's monitor spirits around you, it's analysts around you, it's God watching you. What decision you gonna make in this situation? Always read your Bible, always pray, of course. And then just observe the energy. And if they treat you good, if you're doing something for them, if they bend you, this is bending. They make you bend. If they get you to bend, and once you bend, the energy gonna shift just a fraction more. The energy gonna shift, and you really need to pay attention to that too. But once it shifts, you ain't gonna notice it no more, because everybody gonna be going in that direction. Everything gonna go in that direction. energy gonna completely shift. Even your energy gonna shift. It's almost like you going from one level to another instantly in a few seconds. And you know, just pay attention to that. But once it shifts, it shifts. You ain't gonna be able to pay attention to it no more. It's over. So you trying to, what I mean by that, say you talking to nature, trying to get an ounce out of nature. You know, well, I ain't gonna say nature, but nature typically quiet when when that moment of time show up. It's just hard, y'all. The energy just warped. And the little energy that you typically utilize to help you and direct you, it ain't gonna be good because it's already done shifted. So what do you do when people are trying to manipulate you, or the energy is trying to manipulate you, or get you to do something that you feel like the energy is so shifted? I would like to call it warp, but you can't call it warp before you acknowledge that it's warped. So, but the energy have dramatically shifted. It's like looking at energy one way, then it shifts this way in a couple seconds. So, at this point, it's like it's telling you to do something that you shouldn't do, that you feel you shouldn't do. But it's so much of the energy telling you that you shouldn't do it. It's so much of the energy is telling you that you should do it that you feel like God itself is telling you to do it. Well, what you need to do is, if you get the chance to fail at it, you'll be lucky, and that'll be good. If you get the chance to take that dip, you need to observe everything thoroughly. But even though, man, some missions, some tests is so deep. Even if you purposely dip, you're not gonna see it all. It's just like a mission for the FBI or the CIA. You gotta stay in it and stay in it and stay in it. You know, you're doing an agent mission. You gotta stay in it and stay in it and stay in it to the point where you can't tell if you are a agent or a thug. It's about like that, man. And it get dangerous when it get like that. But when it's like for God though, when you trying to figure out, okay, what should you do? Cause I see a lot of women going through this, and a lot of the women that I know that went through it failed dramatically. What you gotta do is observe the people. Cause they gonna still show you love, but the love is gonna be shifted. The love is gonna be like, just like I told y'all, when I was fighting when I was young, and the dude, it's like they kept picking on me, they kept bullying me, kept bullying me. Years probably went by, just bullying. Then I finally get a little bigger and a little older where I can defend myself, and I put these hands, I clean them on up, and their gums start bleeding. And I look at them, gums bleeding down, blood dripping down their teeth. And I'm looking at them in their eyes, because I'm looking for them to say, I'm sorry. I'm looking for them to say anything but smile at me and say, I got you. And you know, you like, wait a minute, bro. You've been attacking me for a whole year, man. You've been wanting this. I'm finna give it to you. You give it to them. And then they look at you and they smile and say, I got you. Huh? You got me? How you got me? I'm winning. And that's when you know they got you. Then you know it's a demon, man. You ain't dealing with humans, you're dealing with demons. And that's when it get bad for you. Because you know that you finna go down another energy. You go down a roll of energy that ain't your energy. It's just gonna be a different ride for a while because you failed a major test. And that's the same thing. Like if they get you to do something, they get you like this test. I already knew about this test, but it was something else I was doing and studying. And plus, for the most and the main part of me dealing with this test for this long because of my son. Because I noticed me doing this test, I said they would easily possibly drag my son into this. And it was just like, it was a gun to my head. It was a gun to my head. Because just to think of a child having to go through that, You just have to pray to God and say, I'll do it, even though I know I shouldn't do it, Father. Because I know if I don't do it, or I feel if I don't do it, they're going to make my son that ain't even 10 years old do this. And it will be a disaster to him, you know what I'm saying, in his later ages. So it was a gun to your head. It felt like a gun to your head. I can say that now. I wasn't comfortable about saying it in the past though, because these people, it's like everything I say, they keep doing it. It's like they wickedly disturbed and they just evil. And I know it's a devil movie, so it's legions involved. So it's like these people, if you got a mustard seed of evil in you, and when they release legions, you probably finna get possessed, even though you are a good person. So it's like that, man. And now I ain't got no proof of that, but I just felt that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure everything's okay, and it ain't like that, and it probably not nowhere near that dramatic. I hope not, but I still had to keep that in mind, you know? So what do you do now if it's on a personal level where you ain't got to worry about stuff like that? Just observe the energy, how they treat you. In my case, they treat you like a bomb. They treat you like a slave. They treat you like a peasant. They treat you like a pet. You know what I'm saying? And that right there pissed me off. Because you ain't never in my life, I ain't never in my life been on my knees. And that just pisses me off real good, to the point where I'm about to lose my focus with God. And I don't like that. And it ain't no good in it. And I feel like it ain't got nothing to do with God. And I know that the energy's starting to make me really upset. And if I could get that sucker to manifest it to the physical, I beat the horns off his head. That's how I feel. But you know, it's just how I feel about it. That's what it is though. It's like the energy. It's like you at that point you notice it's energy. It ain't no physical presence. You know it's energy in these people that's shifting these people. Even if they got a group, even if they got an organization, you know it's still evil energy that's pushing these people, because it's just so many of them. And so what I do is, how do they treat you when you do whatever you do? If you do it, how do they treat you then? Before, they smile in your face and kind of leading you on, almost like the job I was gonna get. But as soon as I realized my family, when it comes to the on the table job, if I can't get a job legitimately, then it's pointless for me to get a job, because my family just got too much pull out here. They gonna intervene in everything. They ain't got no choice. They've been doing it for so long, and now that I know how my energy works, when people attack me, they get binded to attacking me. And if my family been doing this long and getting away with it, and I'm just now realizing in 2018, then they ain't gonna stop. They ain't gonna stop. They can't stop. And, I mean, they can stop, but they gonna have to come from an unseared heart. And it's hard to do that, man. Because I did it before. It's terribly hard, because you don't notice the wrong you're doing once your heart's seared. So what I did, I had to trick the mind, my own mind. I had to first observe the energy. So in other words, I had to dip first I would have to dip, not to observe the people, but to observe the energy. With that being said, I have to meditate and I have to listen. You know, normally without any music, any sound, I have to listen. And I noticed that the energy is off, frequencies is off, you know, the weather is off, all that is off. Okay, now, something go through my mind, emissions go through my mind. And it might not be of God, it might be a little dark. If that energy, okay that, and you know, you should be able to, from meditating, after meditating for so long and stuff like that, you should be able to tell if your energy is okaying something. And typically my energy tells me to do right and good. So if I sink a little bit in my mind, in my mission, and I go into the dark for just a few seconds, and the energy be like, okay, the energy is all bad. All right, now I'm gonna have to dip again then, so I can observe the energy in the people. Then energy in the people. So you gotta remember, before you started doing whatever they wanted you to do, they was kind of leading you on to doing it, buying you stuff to do it, whatever they want you to do. You know what I'm saying? In my case, it might be hygiene material, all this crazy stuff, and they just might buy you a whole bunch of lotion and and little crazy stuff. And you thinking they doing it for, oh good, thank you. You know what I'm saying? I needed this. I ain't got no money. I needed some hygiene material. That ain't what they're doing it for. And then and then they start playing with sound, just monitoring, mechanical monitoring spirits, like things like that. And they start leading you towards, certain direction, leading you in a certain direction. Okay. All right. Then they being nice. This is before you even thought about doing it. Then all of a sudden, somehow you figure out that's what the energy telling you to do. You do it, and you dip. And like I said, it's a window of space right there where the energy gonna shift. When it shifts, you must pay attention to it. It's only gonna be a few seconds, and you're gonna realize things is treating you bad all of a sudden, and you're gonna feel the dissension in the weather and in the atmosphere. And you know what I'm saying? It's almost like it go from color to black and white. You know what I'm saying? And it's just for a few seconds. So you know that's off. Things just shifted. And then people will start looking at you crazy. Like, whatever you did, they'll start treating you accordingly. Like, yeah, you is this, you is that. Just now back to the person I said, I put them hands on, and their gums started bleeding. And they're going to look at me and say, they're going to look at me and say something ridiculous like, they're gonna look at me and say something ridiculous like, we got you. Same thing with that female that time I told y'all. I called her up so we could kick it, have a good time. That's typically what we do. And she gonna say, you ready to join? She'll be like, oh, you just throw yourself in the trash can. You know what I'm saying? It's like, one thing about me that's good, what I thank God for when it comes down to my gift, a demon can't. If a demon is in you, that demon gonna talk to me before you do. And it's gonna tell me what your motives is. Just like that one time I was with this girl, and I was going to a party, a house party, and the girl was supposed to lead me to the house party. And what they were supposed to do was jump me, kill me, and throw me off in the lake or something like that. Well, I was on my way there, and I just happened to bump into her somewhere, and I picked her up. Yeah, she was just walking, and I think the weather was bad. And I picked her up, and she said, I said, I'm finna go to this party. But come to find out, somebody dropped her off and played off of my kind heart, knew that I wasn't gonna leave her in the weather like that. And when I picked her up, I told her I was going to this party, and she told on herself. When I was going to that party, she said, whatever you do, please don't go to that party. I'll hang with you tonight, whatever you do, because they got different plans for you. And I was like, I just picked you up somewhere else. I ain't tell you about no party that I was going to. But I was on my way. I mean, I told her that night, but I told her as we was in the car finna ride by, and she asked me where I was going. And I said, I'm going to this party. But then she said, they got different plans. How do she know? I never said nothing about no party, except for that moment. So, stuff like that, man, you just know, you know what I'm saying? You just have to catch it. And then the one time I was going to the lake, and you know what I'm saying, 1, 2 in the morning, I go out there and jog, and somehow another, like I said, a woman was with me then, and she knew that I was going to the lake at night, and somehow I just noticed people was at the lake. 1, 2 in the morning, they wasn't supposed to be there. There's always nobody there. It looked like a scary movie on the lake like that at that time. And I just noticed cops and all that was getting ready to go to the lake at that time. And I remember listening to a reading. This same girl that's in my energy now, but I ain't gonna say her name. And she said, somebody finna get thrown in a lake. And if it wasn't for me to think about that reading, I would have went on down there probably. But I thought about that reading, and she said somebody finna get thrown in a lake. So did. That same girl is in my energy getting on my nerves. She wanted the main one getting on my nerve where she was. I think she's trying to clean herself up now. But she said somebody finna get thrown in a lake. And later on I found out that that same girl was involved in all this stuff that I got going on. So it was just like God been with me the whole time, man. And that's when I started noticing something heavenly was on my side, because I was just catching on to stuff so fast. So now when it come down to this situation, it was like they basically had a gun to my head, because I was thinking about my son. They know it. And so they were like, okay, let's say they said I want you to do the energy now. Back to what I was trying to tell you. Well, when it's time for you to really make a decision, if God give you all that to go through, and it's time for you to make a decision on whether or not you should do it, you need to figure out. How the energy treats you, like in the people. So when I start doing the little test they want me to do, they basically treat me like a sinner, incompetent, somebody that's slow, and they'll call me slow, say I'm crazy, like my cousin try to say, and he know better. And and you know, I just look over there. And cause like I said, bro, if you would sit in your home and you would sit in one spot and you would look at somebody exercising and singing and dancing in his own comfort of his home, then that person is, and I'm a godly person, then obviously I'm singing and dancing for God. And you think that's crazy? And when I'm exercising, that's healthy, that's good for me. You think I'm crazy? You gotta ask yourself, Tiger, you know, riding on the tricycle, you really think it's crazy to be in your yard and exercising, singing and dancing? I thought we did that before phones came in the picture. I thought we did that before computers came in the picture. I thought we did all stuff like that. I thought that was the way we stayed healthy and in shape. So you mean to tell me you gonna look, you gonna sit on your tail all day long and scroll, and you see me doing lectures, lifting the people. You see me teaching and preaching, lifting the people, and you see me doing it on my phone, and I'm lifting the people, putting it on social media, even though y'all swapping the networks and making it look like I ain't doing nothing, giving it to all the man's people, as if I don't know community gang stalkers. So, and you clap, you blow the horn at each other, you don't never blow the horn at me. That throws y'all all in the trash can right there. So I ain't gotta speak to none of y'all, really. But anyway, until y'all got the heart to say something to a man like you're supposed to, instead of acting crazy and keep on decapitating your opportunity to actually be something greater than what you been, then that really ain't nothing I can do for you except for say, okay, yeah, bye. But so with that being said, it's like you're gonna sit there, you're gonna really sit there and say I'm crazy for doing what's normal. What is normal for real, for real? Let's just be real about it. Is normal sitting on your tail watching somebody else live their life and just scrolling on your phone? Or is normal exercising and dancing and singing and living according to the way God wants you to live? You gotta question that, man. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? When y'all can really fish y'all mouths to say somebody is crazy for actually living and enjoying their life. The problem is that the reason why you call me crazy is because you've been doing all these attacks, and I still got a smile on my face that's genuine, and I still love myself, and it's genuine, and I'm still able to heal myself and take care of myself, even though y'all done did all this stuff to decapitate me. That's why you think I'm crazy. You crazy for keep coming over here thinking I know any different, and I hate when people believe their own lies. You hear people say all this stuff about me, just like that girl that came in, she said everything they said about you was a lie. Man, let me tell y'all women something out here that's from here. When I was in my studio, the main thing they did was kept y'all out of there. And the few women that did come back there fell in love. They kept y'all in the dark, and all they did was kept y'all in low vibrational things. And that's the reason why you don't know what to do. A lot of y'all don't know what to do just from bed to bed. You got no clue on how to invest in a business. You ain't got no clue on how to invest in family. You ain't got no clue on how to build up yourself and have fun with yourself. All they got you programmed to thinking that you always need somebody with you, and it's always sometimes got to be a different person with you. All that's just programming. It's programming to keep you low. It's programming to keep you in the mud, and it's programming to keep you on your knees. You gotta watch stuff like that when it comes to these streets. These streets are built to gobble you up and swallow you up. They ain't built to be your friend. The streets all in each hood, each street, each slum, they always choose 1 to 2 people that it's gonna take care of. The rest of y'all ain't nothing but lunch meat. You better know it. Now, so that's my advice. When that energy shift, cause God just, what it is God, don't blame God, cause God testing you. You don't know who you are on the other side. You should know who you are, and somebody around you know who you are, and the organization that you're probably working for or watching you know who you are, but you don't know who you are. So with that being said, God ain't gonna even say none of them, everything gonna get quiet when it comes to this testing moment. So you need to observe yourself and just notice the energy. So every time I help these people, they need to gouge money. I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they need to gouge money. I don't. So I did that test for a year, and I was without shoes for a whole year. The bottom of my darn shoe, my feet was showing through my shoe for a whole year, and I did that test. Didn't give me nothing. Didn't give me no, hey, how you doing? Thank you, pat on your back, no nothing. Treated me like dog crap, and really sitting here and expecting me. They still doing this old whatever they got going on, and they expect me to keep on going. I had been done said no and enough a long time ago. You can't play me with none of that rhythm you keep sending over here. That's garbage to me. I'm really getting pissed off. I got pissed off at the energy. Like I said, if I can manifest the energy in a physical form, I'd have beat it back to hell where it came from. Because it's harassing me at this point. That's straight up. If I was y'all, I'd go cleanse and heal myself. Because most of y'all is very low vibrational just for trying to take. It's funny how you wanted me to be a prostitute. It's funny how you wanted me to turn myself out. It's funny how you wanted me to be in the mud. It's funny how you wanted me to be in the to be an addict, but you winded up doing all that. You winded up being all that, and it's still growing. So if I was you, I'd sit down somewhere. You don't know the energy of these floats. You don't understand the energy of angels, warrior angels. Every warrior angel got a different gift and ability, and you still ain't figured out how mine is whooping on you yet. Y'all done lost y'all mind trying to bring me down. I'm doing good and looking good and feeling good every day. Thank you. Giving yourself ropes. That's my advice, though. That's the advice I got to give you. Just notice if they get you to do something and you do it and they treat you, they can't help it because they done warped their energy. They done did they done maxed out their energy. So it's got to be a leak somewhere. It can never be all the way. It's got to be a glitch somewhere. You just got to probably dip a couple times. Hopefully not, but you probably got to dip a couple times to find it. That's it. And these people treat me like crap every time I do that to you. They'll wave, come outside, speak, and laugh at me. Treat you like garbage. Call you slow, retarded, incapable of taking care of yourself, and say you're not the son of God, ain't nothing but a sinner and a loser, and a bum.